What's up, everybody? Peaceful here. Got another deck guide for you today. We're going to be diving into Nico Minoru Deadpool. I think Nico Minoru takes Deadpool from being like a pretty fringe deck and worse than most of the other Destroy archetypes to probably the best Destroy archetype. It just does so much for this deck, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But first, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, let me know down in the comments what other decks you'd like to see that are coming up in the metagame, and I will make sure and get deck guides out there for you for those. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first up here is the deck list that I ran. There are a few other options you can run in some of these slots that we'll get into later, but I think for this is a good starting point for someone who hasn't played this deck before to sort of get a feel for this deck. The biggest question I got a lot on stream was why Hulkbuster over Taskmaster, and you'll actually see in the games that I'm going to have attached to this video why I have Hulkbuster over Taskmaster and why I preferred this specific build. It just does a lot of really cool things with Nico, and that made for some really sick games that I don't want to give any spoilers, but you'll see here in a little bit. But basically, the game plan of this deck is pretty simple. Let's go ahead and dive into it a little bit. Deadpool, you're going to play Deadpool. Nico has buffs, Forge has buffs, anything like that you can put on Deadpool and make just an absolutely insanely huge Deadpool. I think the biggest one I got in this video was over 40 power, and I had two of them. That was pretty sweet. But you're basically just trying to set up a last turn 6, because at X23, what you can do is if you destroy Deadpool and X23 the last on turn 5, going into turn 6, you'll have 7. You can play Null, Death, and a Deadpool all in the same turn, and that's just almost like sort of like it felt like bounce at times where when you pulled off the combo, your opponent just had no way of knowing where you were going to play stuff. Most of my opponents just ended up retreating because it's like, well, you have 70 power or whatever you're going to put down the last turn, and I have no idea where it's all going to go. So they just were, I mean, like at that point, Elias doesn't do anything. There's not really any counter that does anything. A lot of times you can use the destroy effects to throw prio, so they can't even shang your big threats, which is also very cool. So lots of really good stuff going for this deck with when you draw Deadpool. Now, well, if you don't draw Deadpool, your game plan is basically still destroying stuff using the buff cards on your other regenerating cards like Wolverine and X23, and just trying to make a pretty big board where you can still on turn 6 play Death plus Null and get a pretty powerful output there. So just a couple little things that you should be looking out for. Nico is really cool with Hulkbuster, not only putting Hulkbuster on a different card, but if you actually get the double her power spell, you can put the Hulkbuster on her as the next card and get a really big threat just for basically four total energy, but you'll get like even without any other buffs, that's you put that on Nico 5, that's 10. He takes her to 7 power, doubles to 14. So that's a 14 power threat, and as long as your opponent isn't running Killmonger, that's pretty good. So just keep that in mind. That's a nice little synergy. I did want to put in here just so people who haven't maybe played with Nico all that much would know. The best spells for Nico in this deck are the copy spell, the one where you get a copy of the card you're going to play. You're going to see that put to good use in the video. The Destroy Draw 2 obviously is insane because it just gives you another Destroy proc for Deadpool. The plus power spell is also really good as well. And honestly, I didn't list it here, but the demon one's also fine. If you get the demon one and you have Venom, like that's just a really nice setup to get some like a pretty big Venom buff. And that works out just fine as well. Now, the hands you want to be kind of looking to snap are turn 6 Deadpool plus Null. So we've already talked about that. If you have a pretty decent curve, and even if your Deadpool is only like 8 power or whatever, Deadpool plus Null on the last turn, maybe with a Death as well. That's a really strong turn. Like Null's going to win a lane by himself, and then Deadpool plus Death should be able to win you another lane somewhere else. You should be snapping that. I'm not saying snap that on turn 6. I'm saying if you have a hand where you're going to be able to pull that off, you should be snapping it as early as humanly possible. So even turn 2 or 3. Early Deadpool curve, if you have like Forge into Deadpool, into Venom, into another Destroy effect in hand to start off the game, you should be snapping that. Put your opponent on the clock, so to speak. And then Killmonger. Obviously, Killmonger is actually like that was one of the things that was kind of sneaky about this deck that kind of caught me off guard. Is that Killmonger is just kind of really good right now. There's a lot of decks running a ton of 1-drop still, even after the huge OTA we got. There's still a 1-drops everywhere in the metagame. And Killmonger's just doing serious work right now. So having a deck where you have Killmonger is going to win you some games even when you don't have your Deadpool curve. So if you have a game where you're positive that you can set up a really good Killmonger on your opponent, that's probably worth snapping because you're gonna really get them, especially with all the Thanos running around. You can get some really sneaky wins that way because they play their Captain Marvel think or their Blue Marvel think they've got it all locked up, and then you hit them with the Killmonger and take them by surprise, get that sneaky cheeky win. So just keep that in mind. Definitely worth snapping when you do have it. Now we're going to talk about a couple different card choices. So first up, if you don't have Null, that's I think the most common one, other than Nico, obviously. But if you don't have Nico, you can just play the standard Deadpool version, with something like Taskmaster in it. But if you're missing Null, you can sub in something like Taskmaster or Arnim Zola. If you're missing Death, same thing. Death, I almost like. I know most people probably have Death because she is Series 3, but Death right now is really awkward with Mobius everywhere still. I'm hoping for a Mobius nerf at some point soon so we can start playing with our fun discount effects again. But like if you just don't feel like losing hard to Mobius and getting completely owned by Mobius, then you can sub Death out for one of the above listed cards. Just know that it does lower your high roll potential when they don't have Mobius. I found that even as punishing as it was when your opponent had Mobius and you drew Death, it was still worth playing her in the deck just for the times when you did get her down for 0 or whatever it may be. She was just way too good. So just keep that in mind that those are some of the replacements you can make. Other than that, I know this is a little bit shorter of a deck guide, but this deck is very straightforward to play. There are a few little weird nuances that take some time getting used to, but just don't be greedy. Destroy your Deadpool. If you can destroy your Deadpool every single turn, you're going to have a good draw. So just try and focus on that and getting as many Deadpool procs as you possibly can. You're going to get really insane boards, and your opponent's not going to know how to deal with them. So have fun with this deck. I actually had a blast. Normally, I don't love destroy decks, but something about growing that Deadpool up to a 1,000 trillion power is just super fun and super rewarding. So hope you all enjoy this deck. Let me know any other questions you might have in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. You can ask anybody who comments regularly here. I always respond. I always try and get y'all the information you need. So appreciate you. Enjoy the games, and I'll catch you next time. Oh my God, chat. Just chilling, thought you could drop by? Hell yeah, you can drop by anytime, man. Oh my God, chat. I'm gonna stay because if this works out, this is gonna be the sickest game ever. Go right, Deadpool, please. Yep. You got all the swarms. Go right. Yes. I don't think they can keep up with this, chat. We're gonna go second Deadpool Carnage next turn. Right? In the following turn, we get to kill both of them with Venom. Or is this just a big enough Venom and the curve works out so much better? No, this is better. What do you think of Death Strike over Death with all these Elsas out there? I think that's so ambitious, man. I don't know. I'm not playing around kills. Yeah, I mean, you can have all the swarms you want, man. You can have the biggest apocalypse in the world. Sure. This is comical that you think this is going to keep up with what I'm about to do. This is so disgusting. It's just like this, right? Yeah, you are. me give him the fist bump. This feels like a snappy. Ooh, which one we got? Double this card's power. I think we can wait. Because we have such a good curve here. Mind Stone. That's fine. Nah. That actually helps me out a little bit. Let's see if we can get something better. Chat, what are we looking forward to for the OTA today? What do y'all want to see? I would like to know. Time Stone. Turn 2 Time Stone. That's just crazy. What do we got, Nico? What do you got for me? I think we're just playing it. This is mostly just a discount death. Let's see what they got. I don't think we care about this. Okay. Lockjaw. Lockjaw. Devil Dino. You just F up a clog deck with Destroy. Do we want to play that this turn, or do we do this? I think we do this. They're going to draw. Which one? Now, see, I don't get to see which one it is. I really wish they'd add a... Oh, man. Now I wish I hadn't done this. Sure. I think we do this. Do we play... The question is, do we play this now or do we hold it? Do we think they have Mobius in their deck? I think we hold. They played a bunch of stuff. They played a lot of stuff. They got a vision. Please don't screw me. Okay, it did not screw me. Oh, it must have gotten the double one, right? Is that what happened? Yeah. Where do we play everything? I feel like this is a winnable game. That's what I was saying, Lammy. I don't know if we were supposed to play around it or not. They can't draw more cards. They literally have drawn their entire deck. They can't rotate with Lockjaw. So they could play... Is it like this? What's up, Talbot? Where do we think they would play Eliath? Because they have it. If they have it in their deck, they have it. I think I like this because it plays around Eliath best. Marvel, it goes to 11 here. Wasp? Got him. Wait. What is this? What is going on? Think the hold was right? I think it was too. Just because like they just have no way to know what we're gonna play where. Top Chef. All right, Forage. Don't let me down. Deadpool. Oh. Oh, baby, chat. Now we just need a destroy card? Nope. Nope. Yeah, get that shit out of here. I actually am glad that got burned because we need a destroy card like this one. I believe it keeps them muted. Yeah. I think, is Saucier on one of my lists already? No. That name is super familiar though. Chill Pill, it's possible Taskmaster's better. The Hulkbuster has cool synergies with the Nico, is why we're playing it. Like, it hasn't come up today, but the totally reasonable line with this deck is Nico into... Oh, they tried. Imagine running Cosmo in your deck, chat. Ah! I love that so much. All right, chat. Watch this sick, nasty play. You ready for this? It is the copy one, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, we do have to get a bunch of rocks, but I think we'll make up for that by having an extra 11 power Deadpool that we can play for one.
Wind, aid my hand.
Oh my god. I hope they're winning here. So many rocks, chat. So many rocks, so little time. Like, they have to commit a decent amount here. $12 rocks? Bye! See you later!